If you're over 60 and buying airline tickets like everyone else, you're probably leaving hundreds of dollars and a ton of comfort on the table every single year, and the airlines are not going to tap you on the shoulder and tell you. They quietly build senior perks into their systems, into TSA rules, and into federal law, and then sit back while most people never use them. Today, you're going to learn 11 hidden airline benefits for seniors that only show up if you ask the right way, use the right phrases, and book your trips the smart way. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to get cheaper fares, easier security, free help in the airport, and more comfort on the plane without arguing, fighting, or feeling like a burden. Let's start with the perk that puts money straight back in your pocket: hidden senior airfare discounts. These aren't the old days where every airline proudly advertised senior fares in big, bold letters. Now, most of the discounts are buried behind phone menus, tiny checkboxes, and special codes. That's why so many seniors say, "I checked online and there was nothing." The truth is, the website is often the worst place to look if you're 65 and older. Here's how the game really works. Many major airlines still have senior fares, but they're accessed in three main ways: a senior checkbox during booking, a special promo code, or an agent-only fare that only appears when you talk to a real human. The mistake most people make is they just put their age in their frequent flyer profile and assume the system will magically give them the best senior deal. It usually won't. The algorithm is designed to show the airline's preferred fares, not necessarily your best fare. So what do you do instead? Step 1. Always check the airline's own website, not a third-party site, because third-party booking engines almost never show senior options correctly. Step 2. Once you find a flight you like, pick up the phone and call the airline's customer service line. When you get an agent, use a very specific script. "I'm a senior traveler and I'm seeing a fare online for flight 123. Do you have any senior fares or senior promotions that would beat this price?" Then stay quiet and let them look. On some carriers and routes, that simple question can shave anywhere from 5% to over 25% off the base fare. The discounts are usually limited to certain destinations, certain fare classes, and certain travel dates, which is why they don't bother to advertise them broadly. But if you know to ask, and you're willing to be flexible by a day or two, you can unlock deals that younger passengers never even see. Think of it as the secret menu of air travel, only available if you know the right phrase. Now, let's talk about the part most people dread: getting through airport security. If you're 75 or older, the rules quietly tilt in your favor, but only if you know what to expect and what you're allowed to ask for. Seniors in this age group are generally allowed to keep their shoes on, keep light jackets on, and get less aggressive pat-downs compared to younger passengers. That alone can take a lot of stress and physical strain out of the security line, but the real power move is using TSA Cares. This is a dedicated helpline created specifically for travelers with disabilities, medical conditions, or mobility limitations, many of whom are seniors. If you call at least 72 hours before your flight, you can ask for help at the checkpoint. Someone who meets you, explains what will happen, and helps you through the process more calmly. The agent can flag your reservation so that when you arrive at the airport, you're not just thrown into the regular line and left to figure it out. Here's a simple script you can use on that call. "I'm a senior traveler with some mobility and medical concerns. I'd like assistance getting through security. What can you arrange for me at my departure airport?" The goal here isn't special treatment, it's predictability. Knowing someone will be there to guide you through the loud machines, the bins, the lines, and the instructions takes a huge mental load off, especially if you haven't flown in a while. Next, we need to talk about one of the most misunderstood benefits: free wheelchair assistance. This isn't a favor, and it's not something you need to be sick enough to deserve. Under federal rules, airlines must provide wheelchair assistance in the airport if you request it. You don't need to show medical records. You don't need a visible disability. You don't even have to explain your condition. You simply have to ask. When you book your ticket, online or over the phone, there's usually an option that says something like, "Request wheelchair assistance." If you miss it during booking, you can still call the airline later and add it to your reservation. The magic phrase to use is, "I need wheelchair assistance due to mobility limitations." That's it. No diagnosis, no long explanation. Once that's on your reservation, the airline is responsible for getting you from the curb to check-in, through security, to your gate, and, if needed, from gate to gate on connections. This one perk unlocks a bunch of hidden advantages. You'll usually skip the longest lines. You'll get pre-boarding so you can get settled without a stampede behind you. And you'll dramatically cut down on the amount of walking and standing you have to do in massive terminals. If you've ever arrived at your vacation already exhausted from the airport, this one change alone can transform the entire experience. Just remember, request it at least 48 hours in advance for the smoothest service, but even last-minute requests at check-in are usually honored. There's another benefit that most families have never even heard of: gate passes. If you have a spouse, adult child, or caregiver who wants to help you in the airport but isn't flying, many airlines will issue a gate pass at check-in. That pass lets them go through security with you, walk you all the way to the gate, help with carry-ons, and make sure you're boarded safely. Then, they simply turn around and leave once you're on the plane. Let's talk about medical equipment, because this is a big one and airlines often don't explain it clearly. Many seniors travel with CPAP machines, small oxygen concentrators, canes, walkers, or wheelchairs. These items are treated differently from regular luggage. In most cases, they are allowed on board or checked at no extra charge and do not count against your normal carry-on or checked bag limits. That means your CPAP bag, plus your carry-on suitcase, plus your personal item is usually acceptable. The smart move is to notify the airline in advance if you're bringing medical equipment, especially anything that plugs in or runs on batteries, like a portable oxygen concentrator. When you call, simply say, "I'll be traveling with a CPAP machine and a walker. I understand these are medical devices. What's the best way to bring them?" They'll tell you whether the equipment should be carried on, checked at the gate, or checked at the counter, and whether they need any forms filled out. Having this conversation before you show up at security saves you from last-minute panic and arguments about bag limits. Now here's a perk that feels almost too nice to be true: strategic lounge access. Airport lounges are usually associated with business travelers and premium credit cards, but seniors can benefit from a few back doors into these quiet, comfortable spaces. Some travel-friendly credit cards offer lounge access with relatively flexible approval criteria, and adding a senior as an authorized user can be far easier than getting a brand new card from scratch. In other cases, day passes are sold at a reduced rate, and some lounges occasionally offer promotions targeted at older frequent flyers or longtime loyalty members. On top of that, if you're using wheelchair assistance, you'll sometimes be seated near or even inside a lounge area while you wait to board, especially on international routes or long delays. It's not guaranteed, but if you see your attendant heading toward a quiet seating area, you can ask, "Is there a lounge or quieter waiting area we can use while I wait to board?" Even when you don't end up in a full lounge, you often get access to quieter corners of the terminal that regular passengers never see. Food is another place where seniors have more power than they realize. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, digestive issues, or difficulty chewing, you are absolutely allowed to ask for special meals on many medium and long-haul flights. The key is timing. These meals usually need to be requested 24 to 48 hours before your flight. When you're booking online, look for a section labeled Special Meals or Meal Preferences. If you don't see it, call the airline after you book. We also need to talk about what flight attendants can do for you, because a lot of seniors don't want to bother them and end up struggling in silence. Flight attendants are specifically trained to assist older passengers, but they need to know what you need before the cabin is full and busy. When you board, step to the side and quietly say to one of them, "I'm a senior and I may need help with my bag and getting to the restroom during the flight. Could you please keep an eye out for me?" They can help lift your carry-on into the overhead bin, walk you to the restroom when it's safe, explain any safety features you're unsure about, and check in on you occasionally during turbulence or long flights. If you're nervous about flying, say that too. You're not being a burden. You're giving them information that helps them do their job. The earlier you communicate, the smoother the whole flight feels. Before we wrap up, here's the mindset shift that ties all of this together. Airlines and airports do have systems in place to make travel easier, safer, and more affordable for seniors. But those systems are mostly invisible unless you know exactly what to ask for. The website isn't designed to coach you through all your rights and benefits. The hurried gate agent isn't going to stop the line to explain every perk you qualify for. The responsibility to unlock these advantages falls on you or on the person helping you book. But once you know the scripts, it stops feeling like begging for favors and starts feeling like using the tools that were built for you. So, your action plan is simple. First, stop relying on third-party sites and book directly with airlines so you can access senior fares, special meals, and assistance notes. Second, whenever you're on the phone with an airline, use this phrase: "Do you have any senior discounts or assistance available on this booking?" Third, don't be shy about requesting wheelchair assistance, gate passes for family, better seating for mobility, and help from TSA cares or flight attendants. You've earned these benefits by living long enough to qualify for them. If this video helped you discover even one perk you didn't know you had, do two things for me. Hit like so more seniors see this, and subscribe if you want more smart, no-nonsense travel guides that actually respect your time and your age. In the comments, tell us which perk surprised you the most and what other hidden benefits you want us to expose next, whether it's hotels, cruises, or insurance. Thanks for watching, safe travels, and remember, the airlines won't tell you about these benefits unless you ask, but now you know exactly how.